Ah, what's up, guys? It's Keith here with another Walking Dead review. Um, Two quick things. One, spoilers, as always when I do these, and two, this one's probably gonna be a little bit of a short one because for whatever reason, it was late and I couldn't get to watch it, so I've seen bits and pieces of the episode, but I haven't seen the whole thing. So I'm gonna say what I know, and then I'll probably give just a little bit of inner details about some of the stuff. So this isn't going to be the best review, but I'm still going to do it anyway. So, the very beginning of the episode, we follow Beth and Daryl as they're first escaping the prison, in which we see Beth. She's giving I guess her diary entry of how when they first get into the prison, and that's like the voiceover for the opening sequence. And again, it's another of the things that these people are broken. Beth wants to go out and track and see if they can determine where everybody else went, whereas Daryl's just kind of broken. He just kind of sits there staring at the fire. And then eventually they get up. And Daryl's, a little bit skeptical about people still being alive, and well, Beth is, being hopeful. And they basically their whole sequence is them moving through the woods, and then basically at the end they get to the train tracks, and they just see walkers eating people, and then Beth just kind of breaks down crying, and it's she's just been through a lot. I mean, after the death of her father and not knowing if her sister is alive, she's been through a lot. So I could see it being a huge strain on her. So she just kind of breaks down crying, and then that was the end of their sequence. Um, and then next we see Tyrese, Mika, and Lizzie, which is Tyrese and the two little girls. And in this episode, it's revealed that Judith is alive. I kind of figured she would be, but Tyrese has Judith, so she's alive. And so then we see those three maneuvering through the woods. And Mika's learning to not nearly be as afraid of the walkers, and that's mostly what a lot of what their sequence is about, is her overcoming her fear of walkers. Um, Basically, the other two main things that happen is that you see Tyrese. He ends up going to the train tracks because he hears people screaming, and all the dead bodies and all the walkers from earlier. That's where they come from. So this takes place before Daryl and Beth, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but I believe that's the impression I was getting. And while he's gone, he puts Meek and Lizzie back to back with Judith, and they go. And Judith starts crying, and Meek is like, "You gotta do something. You gotta get her to be quiet. She'll let all the walkers know we're here." And so Lizzie puts her hand over like her mouth, and then I don't know. There's all kinds of audio distortion on the episode, so I think that it's kind of showing that maybe Lizzie was enjoying it a little too much. And then Tyrese manages to find uh, that it's Carol. It has saved the kids and Judith, and so then they continue up the tracks, and I guess they're on their way to find some safe haven, some safe place for the kids, and that's that part. And then I think the second to last part that I saw with Sasha and uh, Sasha and Maggie, and I don't know what the other guy's name is. It escapes me right now, and I'm not going to worry about it too much. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. So, um, basically, they make it out. They do hospital work on the other guy, and then Maggie sits off with the other two behind her to go try to find Glenn. And they find the bus because Glenn was on the bus at the end of the mid-season finale. At the mid-season finale, he was on the bus, and the bus is full of walkers. So everybody that was on the bus is dead. So then they start letting people off the bus, and they all look like walkers. And she goes through, and she kills them all, and she doesn't find Glenn. And so she kind of sits down and gets into like a weird half laugh cry at the very end. And then the last part that I saw, which is which is the last part that I'll really go in depth, and even though I'm not going too much in depth, that I'll go in depth about is Glenn, who I guess it turns out Glenn had gotten off the bus and had decided to help, with the defense of the prison. And he wakes up, he's still at the prison, he's up on the bridge. I mean, the bridge is destroyed and it's not there, but he wakes up on the bridge above a huge pool of walkers. So, he's like, oh no, nobody's there. So he puts his riot gear on and he goes through and he fights his way through the walkers and he runs into Tara. Now, I know that happens, and then sadly, and again, I'm going to apologize for this, it was late and I wanted to get the review out now. I didn't see what happens after this. But again, this episode was really everything I saw it to be. This is just, how the last episode was very Rick, Carl Michonne. This kind of wrapped up, what happened with a lot of other people. So, I mean, again, there might have been more might have been more of everybody else, but that's really all I saw. I probably only saw about half an hour to 40 minutes at the most of it, so I didn't see too much. But, again, this episode didn't stand out. It's not bad, but I mean, nothing really stood out. This is like, the plot filler episode until we get to the next big thing. But there was some cool sequences. Glenn running through the walkers with his riot gear is really cool. They did a POV sequence from his helmet, and they dinged up the helmet apparently, and it was really cool. It was really, really cool. So I mean, that was a really cool sequence, and it was a good episode. Again, I'm tired. I'm rambling. I'm just gonna end the review here. So yeah, watch The Walking Dead. Check out my other reviews of the other episodes, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.